being around people who have had the, we'll call it backs, are now experiencing severe symptoms. This is from shedding off of the spike proteins. You can go to my website and there are informational videos on there that explain the whole process of what's happening and why this is happening to women. There's a woman giving out the warning about this, and many people who have reached out to me and given me countless, I don't even want to call it testimonials, but told me their own personal stories. There are women and men who have come into close proximity of people who have had the vaccination. And once they do this, these people are, a lot of people want to call it shedding, But when people think of shedding, they're thinking shedding off of when you get the weakened viral vaxes. But that's not what this is. This is gene therapy that's causing your body to make these spike proteins. This is the mRNA gene therapy. This is an grand human experimentation. This is not anything that's ever been done before. It is, in fact, altering the human makeup of the body. So what's happening is that process starts in the human body and doesn't stop. It's coming out in their breath. It's coming out through their pores. So spike proteins, what they're finding is dangerous to human tissue. This is what's causing reproductive problems in people. This is what's causing, the sterilization of people. Women who have come in contact with, and men, I have men too, who have come in contact with people who have had this Bax, and I'm saying it this way so I don't take my video down, have suddenly become covered in strange bruises. Women have had as young as 10 years old, 10-year-olds starting their periods early. 11-year-olds getting 2 periods in a month suddenly from being around people who have had this done to them. People getting severe migraines, disrupted sleep patterns, people having clots the size of their fists, people that were in menopause for years suddenly having severe periods with grapefruit-sized blood clots. This is happening to all kinds of people. Men that are, their spouse had the vaccine and they go to bed at night and sleep next to their spouse, wake up covered in bruises. Countless testimonies. If you go to my website, truthunmasked.org, and click on Stay Away, and then it says Warning, you can see a video of a doctor, and his name is there. He's explaining this process to you, and another woman who's giving you this warning. There's yet another doctor who is warning her patients that you need to call ahead of time and let them know if you've had the Bax, because she doesn't want you in the office because they treat pregnant patients, and she doesn't want people who have had it around the patients because of this. Because there's a risk of people having stillborn or damaged fetuses if they're around people who have had this Bax, because it can affect and cause miscarriages. And there doctors who aren't being stupid and going along with all this CDC bullshit are trying to keep their patients safe. So I'll read a couple of these comments here. My partner is getting sudden nosebleeds with huge clots. Somebody else said they're getting migraines. I just got off my 3rd period in less than 2 months, been around 4 total schmaxinated people. Somebody just said, and somebody else just said, I must have had a headache this last week right now because of these retards. And it's true. And I know somebody else on here, I don't know if you want to talk about it, but lost a pet who had schmaxinated people were petting their pet and lost their pet. This is how dangerous this is. So in the last 48 hours, I have heard horrific stories, and I'm adding them to the website as fast as I can so people can see that this is not a conspiracy theory. This is people really coming out and saying it. There's no way of knowing how long that it lasts. They're saying that the human body, there's no way of knowing if the human body will ever shut off this mechanism of producing these spike proteins. So the people that get the schmaxine may produce these spike proteins forever. So it may never be safe to go near them again. They may stop producing them at some point, so it may be safe to go near them again. I'm putting this warning out because we each as individuals have to make our own safe decisions. If you have small children, I would recommend you make the safe choice to never go near them again. That would be my smart decision. Stay the hell away from them. So people have said to me, so now you're advocating for social distancing? No, I'm advocating for using your damn brain. Find out who's had this shit. Use your mouth because you want to be safe. These people are not smart people. These people are not people who care about your health at all because they've done no research and have not used any common sense. They are doing things that are actually going to harm everyone around them. They've used no smart, sound decision making at all. And now they are just walking around hurting everyone around them worse than ever before. Bad enough they wore these bacterial rags over their mouth, increasing risk of illness to everyone around them. Now they're really increasing the risk of sterility and bleeding out of everyone around them just by existing. So have the balls to ask people, have you been vaccinated? And stay the hell away from them. Don't social distance from people that have not been vaccinated. Stay near people that have not been vaccinated. It is healthy to interact with other humans. Be near those that are believers, that are smart, that are wise, but stay the hell away from these zombified retards. Stay away from them. I'm going to go off. I might come back on and go live again with Chris. What about a grocery store? How do we stay away? They promote this stupid social distancing. If you see someone that's acting like a straight up retard, stay away from them. All of these people that have gotten the vaccinations, most of them are obedient, slave-minded morons. They are telling the obedient, slave-minded morons to continue wearing a mask after a vaccine. So usually you can spot them a mile away. You can see they're wearing a mask. If they're wearing a mask, you can pretty much assume that they're taking the vaccine. This is not like a crazy assumption. It's pretty obvious. Don't go near people wearing a mask. Stay the hell away from them. You have to start. These are the hard decisions I said the other day on the video. We all knew these days were coming. We all knew the hard decision days were coming. One example would be these children going to these indoctrination camps, aka the public school, which I've been screaming to stop being stupid and putting your kids there. All these retarded teachers are taking that death jab. Now your children are sitting there at risk for sterilization just by being around these teachers. If you don't understand how sinister this end game is, then you're just not paying attention.